Hi everyone, and welcome to Sit in It for a Bit with Arne and Carlos, and we are, as always, your hosts.
Arne and Carlos.
Yeah, and lots of people have been asking for Freya. Where's Freya? Where's Freya? Where's Freya? Well, here she is.
Here she is.
We have actually just reunited with her after being apart for a few days. But Freya is here, Helmer is here, and yeah, she's growling now because
She's cranky, as always.
Yeah, so maybe we should just let her go.
Up there, it could be my stomach.
There we go.
They're not the best friends.
Well, they're good
Not
friends, but
always.
if Freya's on one of our laps and Helmer comes, I think she doesn't feel like she can get away from him, and so she growls. But,
And if she's on the lap, he always want to have a cuddle.
yeah, because he's
Because
jealous.
he's jealous.
Yeah.
So-
Anyway, they are now. Freya's now lying next to me. Helmer is over there, but you saw them. They're good. They're fine, and yeah, we're ready to start our weekly podcast, Sit in It for a Bit, where we talk about everything and nothing. Sometimes it's knitting related, sometimes it's not. But for sure, you can sit down and spend some lovely 15 minutes together with us, enjoying whatever it is that we're going to be telling you.
Okay.
And today we're in our garden.
Yeah. And the autumn is coming, has arrived actually.
Well.
Winter is coming.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much getting over autumn in a few weeks.
Yeah. There
Today,
was a lot of colors just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Or more colors.
absolutely.
And it was raining last night, and a lot of the leaves just left.
Yeah.
So they're on the ground.
They are. Yeah. Today's a lovely day. Actually, it's quite warm.
Yeah.
And it's foggy, so the fog comes and goes, and behind the fog there is some sun. So we've got this very beautiful.
Changed very quick.
Yeah,
So-
it's a very mysterious kind of landscape
Yeah.
we have today.
If we just disappear, it's just the fog.
Yeah, and it's the end of hunting season. However, there is a lot of activity here right now. Not only because of hunting season, but it's also fall or autumn break. So this week, when we're filming this, is the week that the people from Oslo have their autumn holidays, and they have cabins around here. So it's
Actually,
packed with
I
people.
heard music just before we
Yeah.
put up the camera. There was music coming from somewhere in the woods. I
Yeah.
don't know from where.
I don't know, but there's lots of
Kind of nice,
activity.
actually.
Yeah, it's
To know
nice.
that there are people around.
People have come to enjoy
So-
the great outdoors during the fall break, and so there's a lot of activity. There's the cars. There's
And
a
there's
lot of
also
noise.
hunting season.
Hunting season.
There was some guys next to the post box yesterday. You saw they were doing something with that. What's it called? Walkie-talkie.
Yeah, I don't like
They
it.
were checking out the walkie-talkies.
Hmm.
I hope they don't shoot our moose,
I hope not.
because then there won't be any moose around here.
No. And then what will Freya do? What will
Yeah.
she bark at? Who knows?
Who knows?
But yeah, hunting season is not my favorite season. You have to wear red if you walk the dogs, and I don't know. I've never been a fan of hunting, to be honest. I don't understand it. Do you?
No, not really.
Not really. No.
I think I heard that they talk about keeping the population of moose down because we don't have many wolves anymore.
Oh,
or
that's okay. So
they don't have any natural enemies anymore. Not many.
Okay, from that point
So
of view,
that's one of the reasons, I guess.
yeah.
But
From that point of view, I do understand it. I don't understand it from the point of view of killing
no,
animals.
but they have like a quota.
a quote, yes.
Well, they can't
Quota,
kill
yeah.
as many as they like.
Yeah. Mm.
So that's good. So things are happening around here, and
Yeah.
this week we have been abroad again.
Yes.
It's been busy with
Yeah.
traveling.
Well, yeah, we've
Again.
started traveling. So the 3 Scandinavian countries, Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, have finally opened up and lifted all restrictions. So things have gone back to normal, and it means that we can travel also openly now between the borders between Norway, Sweden, and Denmark without any controls, just as it used to be in the
Yeah,
past.
No one checked us, and we had a lot of hassle before we left because we couldn't find the passport, Helmer's passport, because
Yeah.
you need to have a passport. And since we didn't get the passport, he had to have new vaccines and some tablet or pills.
Yeah, so we had
or
to go to the
something, and-
vet, give him the rabies vaccine
Yeah.
and all the other vaccines, and then he has to take the pills against the Echinococcus multilocularis, which is a
The one you
is a
talked
t-
about last time.
yeah, it's a tapeworm that is not doesn't exist in Norway. It's quite bad, so they don't want dogs to bring that into Norway. So and nowadays he has to take 2 pills, so one and it has to be verified by a vet.
I think we went down and he got that last time we did sit on it, didn't we?
Yeah, we had the first pill, and then the day after.
The day after the second pill.
We got the second pill.
Yeah.
And then we left. And now, if we continue going to Sweden back and forth the way we're doing, we may need to go to the vet every 28 days if we're taking.
I think
helmet.
we have to go back and forth to help your parents.
Yeah.
And now it was actually quite nice because now things are getting fixed in the house, and
But
we've been so many times to Ikea.
Yeah, that's.
They're like young kids moving into their first apartment.
Yeah, something happens with old people. You know, they go from these very strong. Independent people, and then they become. The older they get, the more the more they have to rely on their kids.
And they go from heavy antiques to
Ikea.
Ikea,
yeah. So now they're at that phase in their life where they're getting their probably what is going to be their last home together.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of hard work. But before we went on, we had even more drama. So.
I don't remember.
Well, Helmer's passport thing was the first passport drama, and then our vaccine certificates.
We had our drama.
Our COVID certificates. 2 days before we were going to go to Sweden, they didn't work.
No.
And I called our doctor, who couldn't understand it, and then it turned out there was a problem at the issuer of our EU COVID certificate. So we didn't know if we could get into back from Norway, from Sweden to Norway,
without going to quarantine.
Yeah, because at that time we didn't know that they were going to lift all border restrictions. So we postponed our travel one day, and then eventually it all worked out.
And then they opened up while we were in Sweden, so we didn't have to show anything anyway. So there was a lot of hassle for nothing.
Yeah,
actually. But we made it.
We made it.
And we're back.
Yeah, and we spent 5 days in Sweden helping my parents get their last house together.
Yeah.
And it's looking really, really good. But yeah, as you said, we've been to Ikea many times.
Luckily, we had time to go to 2 of the antique shops just to calm me down, because I needed to see something that wasn't screwed together.
Yeah.
I needed to see something heavy,
big, clunky,
and proper furniture.
Yeah.
Something that lasts forever.
Yeah, I know that you're not a big fan of Ikea.
I like the shelves and the storage stuff.
Yeah,
I like that, and they have some nice chairs.
I love the storage stuff that Ikea does.
Yeah, and the armchairs.
Yeah.
Some armchairs are really good, and well, they have nice.
And I love the meatballs.
And the meatballs.
Yeah, we stopped at Ikea for lunch as well on our way down. So we drove from where we live all the way down, and we stopped at Ikea in Uddevalla, which is I think the Ikea in Sweden that is the closest to the Norwegian border.
I think so.
And I had the meatballs, but I wanted to be a little bit more adventurous. So instead of ordering the meatballs made of meat, which is what I normally order, I ordered the meatballs made of plants, so they were plant-based. Yeah. And you know what surprised me? They taste exactly the same.
Yeah.
That can't be good.
What did they put in them? Like flavor of meat?
I don't know.
Dangerous.
I don't know, but they tasted exactly. I couldn't taste the difference. No. I mean, if you put a plate of plant-based meatballs from Ikea and a plate of meatballs from Ikea,
see the difference.
I wouldn't taste the difference. So
that's strange.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe they took from the wrong pan.
Maybe you got the meat.
Maybe I did. I mean, for me, it's not a big crisis. I'm not a vegan, so I wouldn't have gotten ill. But if you are a vegan and if you're not used to eating meat, then you can get quite sick.
I had an overdose of meat. I ordered that thing. Haven't had that since we were in America many years ago. I think. What's that called?
Like the pork ribs.
Pork ribs that is like soaked in something and fried. But it was actually very good. They were like running off the bone. Yeah. I could just.
But when you ordered them, I was looking at you and I was thinking, are you really going to eat that? And you did.
Yeah.
So
I had it all.
Yeah.
Eat everything.
Yeah. and then we arrived in my parents' home, and it was 2 weeks since we saw them, and I actually think they got older in those 2 weeks, which is very worrying to me.
They're probably watching this. They still look young. You still look good, people. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I'm a bit worried for them. I'm concerned.
That's life. That's.
Yeah.
I know everything about it.
Yeah, it's very worrisome, and I have this need to be close to them, and I need to call them every day.
But we're going back in a few days. weeks.
Yeah,
So
we are definitely going back soon. But the house is put together now. They've got a small house. It's got a large living room with a kitchen in the same room. So it's like an open living concept. And then they've got the bedroom, and my dad has now an office because we set that up
and he
for
was
him.
so happy when we left, because then he had the office. He could go through his paper and organize
Yeah.
his life. And I think it was this time it was easier for you also to go there, because
Yeah.
you saw that everything was now in place, and they've been in contact with the commune. They get help for
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's true. I didn't
Yeah,
cry.
Everything
Yeah.
sorts out in a very good way.
It does, yeah. I didn't cry as much as I cried the time before that.
No, but that was a shock for you,
Yeah,
because you hadn't seen them for a long, long time.
yeah,
and
exactly. But
so-
yeah, my mom has the council has given her an alarm, so she has a wristband with a button on it, and that she has to wear 24/7. And if something happens, she can tap on that, and then they will come. They'll send an ambulance or whatever. So it's good because she doesn't see anymore, and she can't use a phone because she can't see it. So that's really good. And they found a nice restaurant where they can eat Swedish traditional
Yeah.
food every day. Because I was concerned that they may get malnutrition, because my mom is the cook and my dad doesn't cook, but now he's cooking and my mom is telling him how to do it, and then I don't know, it just concerns me. But it's good to know that they can go and have a hot meal every day at that restaurant if they
as
want.
long as he can drive the car, he can pick up the
Yeah.
food. If not, they can probably get food delivered.
Yeah, and now we also set up a cleaning service for them. So every other week there will be people coming to clean the house for them. So they should be okay. So yeah, that's what we did. We spent time in Sweden, which actually means we spent time at the candle factory. You may have heard it.
You say I'm like a shopaholic or have the black belt, but your belt is blacker.
Yeah, well, I found my
You're-
happy place when I'm down there. You know, I go down.
You're
we go-
crazy about candles.
Yeah, we go down to Sweden, and I have all these obligations and all these things to do, and it's nice to go relax, shop, and spend a little bit of money, just to just because shopping is retail, or sorry, retail is therapy as well. I agree on that one.
I know, but I'm so. You see, I didn't bring home anything because I'm not. I just don't go to those secondhand shops to shop just to shop.
Yeah,
I buy things if I need things, and this time I was looking for some pompous chandeliers,
candle holders. I
candle
think,
holders, because we have so much candles now, and you brought even more
Yeah.
home, but we don't have a lot of candle holders.
Yeah. So anyway, last time we went there, I bought 400 candles. You might have heard of it in last week, sitting in it for a bit. This time I figured let's buy all our gifts there. So I brought candles for everybody else this time. And if you know us, and if you're expecting a gift from us, I think now you know what you're going to be getting this year.
And you bought the candle for me. I
Well,
took it
this
out.
one-
This is a really nice, just a little candle.
Yeah. This one is really cute.
This is also nice, and see what happens. Now we talk about candles.
Yeah. This is
like almost like a meter.
this is a meter, and this is, I would say, this is the candle for anybody with a special interest in candles.
I want 5 of these, and I want a candle holder, a pompous one,
Yeah.
with the things, because we have only this one. We have a lot of these, and
It
see,
looks absolutely
it
ridiculous.
looks a little bit ridiculous when you put that.
Yeah.
You can put it on the floor, and you still can see the.
Yeah.
Or you can put it on the table, and it disappears. But I think it's so cool.
Yeah, this is the craziest candle I ever bought, and this was not the smallest one they had. So next,
I think this was the tallest one.
yeah, but they had really big ones as well. Because they do.
We need that.
Yeah.
Because we have those church candle holders.
Yeah.
Thing. They
Because
need big
and they do candles by hand. They're all handmade. They're suppliers to the court of Sweden, the royal court. So I mean, if they're good enough for the king and the queen of Sweden, they're good enough for us. And then
Should
they
be.
also supply all the candles to all the churches in Sweden. So
And they're nice. I saw they had them in
Yeah.
the shop. That there were some that were burnt down a little bit,
Yeah.
and it looks like a forest with
Yeah.
snow on the trees, or like Looks very nice when they burn down, and they burn slow.
You know what? Every time we drive there, my heart starts beating fast. You know, I think we need to put an embargo on this factory in the future, because I don't know how many more candles we could possibly need in our life. Oh, they have these really cute. You know, the cutest ones that I saw that I didn't buy, but I can give you a hint as to what I want as a little gift sometime. They had the cutest little candles to put on the Christmas tree.
They had.
They had. You didn't see them? You didn't see them?
No.
You didn't see
so many candles.
You didn't see the Christmas candles?
No. So that's what you want.
Well, they were adorable. I don't know if I don't know if we're going to put them on our Christmas tree, because it could be a little
dangerous. But we
dangerous.
have those small, you know, those angels. We never found candles that match those angels.
But
the
they
three
have.
angels we have that we found in the
I'm
flea
telling
market
you, they
in
have.
Germany.
They have.
Yeah, because we found some animal chandeliers or candle holder. No, what you call it again? What is it?
It's a candle holder shaped like a moose. It's Freya's
candle. No, it's
candle.
not a moose. It's
a deer.
Deer. Two of them. We found them in a flea market in Mexico City.
Yeah.
And they are like the candle holders are so big, so you can put those. We call it telius.
Yeah, the little.
Is that small candles you put in glasses and stuff? And they had candles that matched those. So now we have. Oh, that's. What was that?
The hunters, I guess. Who knows?
In the middle of my explaining of
Yeah.
the candles. Yeah, okay. So we have a lot of candles.
We do, yes.
So
But we're going to have a cozy fall here, and don't worry, we're not going to burn down the house. We never light candles and leave the room. We always stay
we're
in the
actually
room.
very good at that.
Yeah.
So even though these candles should actually burn for how many hours? They should
40.
burn for a few hours before you
Half
turn
an
them-
hour.
Half an hour before you turn them out the first time.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
They
why,
come with these
but
instructions of what you should do and what you shouldn't. And then the light, the string, it needs to be bended. It shouldn't be straight.
We just turned this out. We didn't burn for a long time. Well, it will burn.
Anyway, so that's the news. People are comparing this Candlegate to Fishgate. Remember when you bought all the king crab and the monkfish? And people have been asking for an update. And I can report that we still have 2 portions of monkfish in our freezer.
And we were actually talking about buying a big fridge.
Yeah.
We didn't. We forgot about that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter now because the electricity is going to be so expensive that we can't afford it anyway.
No.
So
But we were talking about having a big one in the garage.
We
in
were,
case
yeah.
the fish car came back,
Yeah.
the fishman. And they came. And I said no.
Well, actually,
you know why? Because they came in the middle of the dinner.
yeah, and I get really annoyed when we get people that
You were not up for me shopping at the moment.
No.
So
I hate it when we're sitting eating and then and there's a knock at the door. And the problem now, because before we could pretend that we weren't home, but now with these 2 dogs, there's no pretending. They see the cars are there, and they hear the dogs barking like mad. And at the time we were doing the fireplace, so the floor of our house was in the garage, and therefore the cars couldn't be parked inside the garage. So I mean, it was obvious. The dogs were there, the cars were there, and they were barking like crazy, so there was nowhere to hide.
No.
But yeah, so we said to the fishermen, no, we don't have, we're not gonna buy it this time because we have a lot of leftover from last time Arne bought,
Yeah. So that's
which we had.
So that's your candles are your crabs.
Yeah, I
My-
guess.
No. Yeah. Yes, and my candles are crabs.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
doesn't make sense at all. But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is the way it is. You have your little things.
So nothing
and I
happens
have-
around here.
No.
Nothing.
And then Freya, as we were saying, we're just reunited with her. She came here yesterday. She's been away on holiday because we decided to only bring Helmer. Helmer is a little bit difficult to place with friends because
He's too big.
some friends do like him, but the people that live the closest to here, where we usually put Freya, they are not having such a good relationship with Helmer apparently, and he doesn't like them.
And he doesn't like to be away from us.
Yeah.
It's very strange. He's so connected to both of us that every time we leave him, it's really difficult.
It is.
And actually, the last days now, he's been actually being outside in the garden by himself, lying on a chair. And that is actually quite new. That
He's becoming very independent.
Yeah, he actually stays in the garden alone. That didn't happen before.
No. But anyway, we took him with us, and he's really nice. So he doesn't bark, and you can trust him. He's always around us. He'll never run away. I mean, even when the other day, remember, we were walking, because now we don't have to have the dogs on leash anymore. So we can have them off leash. And we were walking past our neighbor, and he heard a noise, and he wanted to run. And we said, Helmer, come. And he came.
Yeah, he came.
So he's very trustworthy. Yeah. This one, on the other hand, this is the troublemaker.
You can scream as much as you like, and she will never.
And she's a barker. She barks all the time. And then when she barks, he barks.
And she comes if she knows there's food around.
Yeah.
Then she will come, but not just by. Oh, Freya, come.
Yeah.
Won't happen.
So we decided that no, she's not going with us. So because I didn't want her to bark, and my parents live in a residential area, and you don't want her barking non-stop and then him barking with his very loud voice. So she got to stay here. And yeah, it was nice seeing her again, though, because we do miss her.
Yeah.
She's very feisty. And
it's empty without her.
Yeah, so. It feels a little quiet without her.
Yeah.
So now she's barking and annoying me and annoying you. And then he barks, which annoys me even more. And then I scream, and then they keep barking.
So the three of you are screaming.
Yeah, no, I don't. I just say, stop it! Yeah. But they don't, if you do that, they actually bark more because they think that I'm just joining in on the fun.
So you should be quiet.
Yeah.
Just listen to them.
Should, yes.
Maybe they stop.
So yeah. And as we said, so Norway opened up, things are back to normal. It's really weird. Sweden also back to normal. People there's still these dispensers outside the stores, and people are still
and sometimes
cleaning their hands.
You can see people wearing
the mask.
But
not very often
now.
very
often now.
The biggest shock the other day was when we walked, we were in town here, in the village near here to buy some groceries, and we passed by the lunch place.
Yeah.
And it's been 1.5 years, or even more than that, since we saw the lunch place is packed with people. Yeah. Every single table, there was no social distancing.
It was actually a little bit scary.
Yeah, when you're not used to it,
because I think it was too many people. Because there are still people out there who are not, who can have it, the sickness, or if you're not having the vaccine, you can get.
Yeah.
I heard now on the radio there are like people who have got sick in health places. What you call that? Like care places, because some of the people who worked, they didn't have the vaccine and they had the corona, and
So it's still not over.
It's not over. So I think it was a bit. I wouldn't have found a table there. I think it was too crowded.
And I'm not going around giving random hugs and handshakes yet, anyway. So I think it's good to keep your distance and be careful still. But on the newspaper it does say every day that the cases are going down. So
it's getting better.
So it is getting better. And then there was the whole thing when they opened up Norway in the end of September. There was this big party all over the country. Everybody was partying, kind of like when the war was over. And there were like 50 incidents with the police around in the country where the police had to go in, and people ended up in hospital and stuff.
They partied too hard.
They partied too hard, and then the government, of course, was really worried that this would contribute to the rise of cases again. But no, it hasn't.
No.
So fingers crossed that we're getting back to normal.
Back to normal, hopefully.
Yeah. As I know, as of now, I know that only the 3 Scandinavian countries are back to normal. I read somewhere that Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, was going to lift all the restrictions sometime in October. Yeah. And then I don't know about other countries, but hopefully
things are changing. Soon we will travel again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then soon people can come here.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
It would be nice.
For sure.
For sure.
Yes. Oh, Freya, she's snoring. Yeah. I think I brought a blanket just in case it would get cold, but the sun's coming out and it's not cold at all. So I'm just going to put her on the blanket. There you go. And then
So, and this week it hasn't been a lot of knitting because we've been traveling to Sweden, but we have done a little bit.
Yeah,
Not
well,
much,
I have been
or
busy
I
with
have
my
done a little
parents.
bit. So I have done both of the mittens I worked on last time. This one, I have not done the thumb yet. So now these are ready for the thumb. Both
Yeah,
of them.
this one you've actually done the scrap yarn, and this one you've added the needles.
Yeah, because I had the blue. I
Yeah.
had to use blue as the scrap yarn because I didn't bring any yarn in another color when we went to Sweden. But I think these will be very nice.
They're really cool.
And they're like, since you have that long thing, what's that called?
The long cuff, yeah.
The cuff. It's actually.
Yeah, I think they're really cool.
It's coming.
and
This is from the collection in
Yeah.
our yarn.
so the pattern
The
that
pattern
yeah
is
the
in the-
pattern is or the design is from the collection that we've done. We've done among other things a dicky
Yeah,
called
and
Jäger.
and a sweater.
Yeah, the
with
sweater
this-
is not available yet. It's just the dicky.
It's not. Oh, it's the dicky with this pattern.
Yeah,
but
the sweater will be available in November.
But these are not in the new collection because
Yeah.
this didn't have any place in the collection. There was not
yeah.
space for it, and so we made them after. So
And we've launched the Norwegian wool. So this is knitted in Norwegian wool. We've launched it. It's been very successful. People are loving the colors, especially this color here. The Daphne is. I love this color. Love, love, love. And
I don't know. This is now 2 balls of the yarn, and this is what we have left for the thumbs. I think maybe we need 2 in each color, and I'm not sure if this is enough for 2 thumbs.
no, I don't think so.
So there will be a lot of leftover yarn when you finish this, but then you can make the Advent sweater.
Yeah. So anyway, we launched the yarn. It was very, very successful. People are loving it. They're loving the colors. And the patterns that we did for the collection that are the Rowan ones, they're free.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't know that. Last week when I said people could buy them, I thought that they were going to be paid. But then I received information that they were free patterns.
So there.
So all you need to do is go to our website at arnecarlos.com, go to the yarn page, click on Norwegian wool. There's a picture of Arne and me wearing 2 of the sweaters and our skis. You can click on that picture, or you can go down, scroll down and click on the image of the Norwegian wool yarn where it says Norwegian wool, and it will take you to the place where you can get the patterns for free.
Yeah.
And if you get the yarn through our website, you're also supporting the channel, which we think is really nice. So we'd like to thank you in advance for considering that if you are going to buy the yarn.
And this pattern will come later because now we have to finish it, and we also I think we should make a smaller size as well.
Yeah.
And then we will send it to our friends in America, and they will go through the patterns
Yeah.
and knit it and check if everything is okay.
Yeah. And I guess we're going to sell this one.
Yeah.
There's something interesting about it. The inside is color work. So on the inside it's just stranded color work, but on the outside it's really nice
Yeah. It's knit and purl.
to create some
It's actually
texture.
quite fun to knit this one, and I figured out like when I do this the Norwegian style, I always knit the purl stitch, like from the finger. I always knit the purl stitch from the finger. I never throw the yarn in when I purl. I was knitting this, and suddenly I was thinking, when do I ever throw the yarn in for a purl? And I think I hardly never do that.
No, it's easier when you have it in the finger.
Actually, I need to have the yarn for the purl stitch on the finger.
Otherwise you can, because you're doing the Norwegian pearl.
The Norwegian
But
style
if
is so
you-
much quicker, and then you throw
Yeah.
in the other one.
Yeah, if you're gonna throw the yarn you're purling with, you'll purl the way other people purl. Like throwers.
I don't. Yeah.
You'll have to purl. You can't do the
I have to
Norwegian
put
pearl.
the needle in, and then I have to grab the yarn and then do
Yeah,
this.
so
and
you
it's
couldn't
too
possibly.
much
There's
work.
no way you can do a Norwegian
You
pearl.
can do it, but it's.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
to do it if you're throwing. So the Norwegian pearl can only be done if you're picking, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you see, you sit and knit and you think about things you have never thought about before.
Yeah.
Because like before, you didn't have to think about it.
Hmm.
And now, since we do YouTube and we do those patterns, we have to think about everything.
All the time.
All the time.
Hmm.
So, that's life.
So another thing that we launched recently is the advent calendar that we're doing this year. We haven't talked much about the Advent calendar videos because those are going to be a surprise. But we have launched the project, the Knit Along project, that we would like people to do this year, which consists of these lovely little mini sweaters. They're numbered and they're all different. So each sweater is completely different. Pam, our friend who's knitting them, she says that she makes one in about 4 hours.
Yeah,
so if you start now, you have time to complete it before December 1st. But don't stress. I mean, this is a project that could be done over longer, and you could actually get them ready until next year, and then you could still enjoy the Advent calendar this year.
You see, this calendar can be used for many years.
Yeah. I mean, it's once you have it, you have it.
You have it.
So there's no need to rush it. We have released it early though, because people do request early releases.
People want to start knitting.
And so far so good. It's been a huge success. So I think we're going to have a lot of people knitting these, doing a knit along, and enjoying Christmas celebrations, or not Christmas celebrations, but awaiting countdown to the countdown to Christmas together with us. As you've understood, we've already released them. We're not going to be revealing the sweaters in the calendar, so the calendar this year is not going to be as it was last year. It'll be something different, something new, because you don't want to repeat yourself and do the same things over and over, right?
Yeah, that's right. We could do it, but
although sometimes if it ain't broken, don't fix it is a good saying. So sometimes it's worth doing it, or not doing it, or just keeping it the same. But we do like changing it up and keeping it exciting.
If you do the same thing all the time, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
You have to do something different.
So stay tuned. We are going to be doing an Advent calendar in December.
Yeah.
And then a couple of people have been asking about other Christmas projects. And all we can say right now is that there may be some more projects being released soon. So keep your eyes peeled here on the channel and on our social media. On Instagram, we're on Instagram, and we're on Facebook as well. There's also a blog at arnecarlos.com where we post news. Yeah. So who knows, there may be more information.
I'm gonna make myself a Christmas sweater on the knitting machine. I'm working on it. But we were out of white yarn, so I have to get more white. I don't think we will. Maybe we could make a pattern. Because the knitting machine, when you knit on it, it looks almost like hand knit. So it doesn't. It's no big difference. Only the transition from one color to the other is easier, or it looks more even when you do it on the machine.
Yeah. The only thing that I struggle with in the machine is I lose the stitches so easily. I don't know why. It's so annoying because when you go across, you have to really look at what you're doing and take care.
You have to check every time that the yarn is actually on the needle, because if it's not on the needle, it just falls on the floor.
And sometimes the stitch just pops out, and that's so annoying. So yeah, I mean, just because you're knitting on a hand loom machine doesn't make it less worthy. It's still an art, and it's still something you have to operate with your hand and your brain, and it's really not easy. Yeah.
And now, when I work on the sweater, it's growing so slow, but it's coming. The Alpaca Classic sweater, I'm almost up to the neck now, because I managed to knit a little bit in Sweden, and I've never knit the sweater in pieces before. But I've done one in the knitting machine, like one front piece. And when I'm going to do the neckline now, I think I will do it the same way as when we did it on the knitting machine. Because that was so easy. It's a very logical way to get a nice neckline.
Yeah.
Because when I see on some patterns, you have there's the front, and then there's 5 stitches, and then there's you decrease 5, and then 2, or it goes slowly up like this. But what we learned in the class with the knitting machine was that she increased on every second round, so it was a line like this. Yeah. And then straight up, and that makes actually a very nice neckline when you when you pick up the rib. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. But I will write that down, because now I have only the number of stitches, and I'm going to measure the length.
It's a real oversized sweater, I have to say, and I think that you're actually you're almost there already.
I'm almost up. I'm almost there.
Yeah, it's a nice color on you.
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But I think actually it's your favorite sweater I'm knitting from.
Yeah, you're copying.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
You're not copying
The
it, but
sleeve.
you're taking the volume
The
from that
volume,
sweater.
but
yeah.
I'm not doing the sleeve with arm top.
Mm.
I'm doing the like this.
Yeah.
What's that in English?
An inset sleeve.
Inset sleeve. But the sweater has a very narrow sleeve compared to the body.
Yeah,
so,
it does. Yeah.
And I think there's a video coming where we explain how we knit from an old garment.
Yeah.
Which we're doing on this.
And it's a great tip. I mean, because again, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. If you have a nice garment that you like and you're happy with and it fits, why not use that to, if you want to plan a new sweater or something, you can use that garment as...
or if you don't find something in your size, just
Yeah.
measure on something that you're comfortable with.
and use that as a
and
template.
use that as a template, and then you just add the pattern.
Absolutely.
So that's it. And then I've been cleaning,
Yeah, these turned up.
and these turned up. These are from the Knit Stars where we were, and I don't know what happened, but I could find only one of this
Yeah.
and one of these two.
Yeah, and they don't match. It's the same. It's the left hand, both of
left
them.
hand.
So, because they're supposed to, when you put them together, we have to do it this way.
should be a star.
When you put them together, it's the knit stars. So it goes like this. So
I don't know. I think we made two of each.
yeah, well, we
I'm
have to.
sure I've
Obviously.
seen two of these, but I really don't know where they are. So my plan is to finish the other mittens, and now I will go through all the stuff, and I will try to organize mittens. Finished mittens and half finished
Yeah.
mittens. We have a lot of everything.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, but why do we have only one?
I don't know. Anyway, these are the Knit Stars mittens, and actually Knit Stars is doing their Knit Star 6 this fall, and their launch is right now. The main launch. So if you want to get Knit Stars, you should actually click on the links below, and it will take you to the site so you can purchase Knit Star 6 or any of the other Knit Stars as well. So this is the time of the year when they usually release the sale of the course, and then it takes place in November or December sometime. So and if you don't know about it, click on the link and you will be able to read more about it. We were in Knit Stars 3, which was a really fun experience actually. They came here from the US and they were so well that happens a lot. We live in a very beautiful country, so whenever there's people coming to visit us, their jaw drops over all the fjords and the waterfalls and the mountains and all the beautiful colors. And then something people enjoy a lot also is if they come in summer, they see all the sheep on the roads. Because here in Norway they roam for free, or they're free. They are walking out in free. They're not behind any fences or anything.
Well, they're out in the woods.
Well, not in the highways, obviously, but if you drive the mountain roads, like if you drive to visit us here in the summer, you're bound to have to stop or kind of try to maneuver yourself around the sheep, and they love the asphalt.
It is warm, so they lie on the asphalt.
They love lying on the asphalt.
So that's so cool.
Yeah, those
talking about sheep, I think I will try to make this in our yarn.
The Knit Stars mitten?
With the same pattern.
Yeah.
They probably will be more or less the same size.
Yeah.
If I use the same needle. This was a needle, 3 and 3.5. So it's the same needle.
Yeah.
Because then we can have them in our colors.
Yeah, in our yarn.
But this is alpaca
Soft DK, which is another fabulous yarn.
And these two also.
Yeah, they're both alpaca soft DK.
But we should make them in our yarn, in the blue.
Definitely. Yeah, I love blue. Yeah, that blue is just beyond gorgeous. Oh, obviously. It's a color we like, that's why we picked it and put it in the collection. But it turned out even better than because we're working when we work with the yarn and we were coloring it, we were actually working in theory, not in practice. We're not sitting here dipping stuff in dye.
We look at stuff we like and find colors around, and then we try to find the Pantone numbers.
Yeah, we look for the colors and then we replicate them in the computer. But the thing is, you have to kind of be open-minded about what you get. And with the blue, though, it was instant.
Yeah,
it was instant. So we were lucky with the blue one.
Yeah.
With the other colors, some of the colors just, you have an idea of what it's going to look like. And then when you get the lab dips, it's absolutely not.
And then we just tell them we want more bluish or more,
and then we have to look for
red or whatever.
away. It's difficult
less
when you're
yellow
describing a color. I mean, it's like describing a flavor or
But
describing a
normally
color.
we got
It's
two different dips
mm,
or two color samples,
yeah.
and then we go for one of them,
Mm,
and you can hardly see the difference. If you
Yeah.
like first look, you can't see the difference, but if you put them together, you see they are a little bit different.
yeah.
And then we can twerk them.
Yeah.
Is that the word? Twerk?
Tweak,
Tweak.
not twerk.
Twerk. No, that's
Twerk
when
is
twerk. That's the dance.
that one, yeah. Or whatever. No. I don't have any rhythm, so I don't know. I may have done it wrong. I'm
Can
sorry.
you twerk?
I don't know. I just did a kind of a. I don't know. I've never done it. So
You know what my favorite song is now? I
No.
have a favorite at the moment. Lizzo.
oh, the one with the phone.
Where's my phone? Where's my phone at? Oh, that's so cool! It's so cool. we saw the drag race.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they were dancing and lip syncing to that song.
Yeah, it was
And then
funny.
I checked the Lizzo video. I loved it. I'm gonna buy some records from her.
Wow. Yeah. It was a funny
I
song.
think she's so cool. I think Lizzo.
Yeah. Anyway, not twerking,
No,
tweaking. We're tweaking,
We're tweaking
the colors.
not
yeah.
twerking the colors.
But yeah, but working with color and in theory is actually very difficult. This is the first time that we did this kind of a collaboration. We've done the sock yarn before, so we do understand how to work with color in theory. But it's easier when you have like where you're putting together 5 or 8 colors, and then you need to just tweak one of the colors in there. But when you're doing a whole collection of different yarns and they're all in solid colors, the colors need to stand out on their own. And you know what it feels like a little bit, the collaboration. It's kind of like when you're going to paint your room. Say you're going to paint your living room white, right? And then you go to the store to buy white paint, and then they ask you what color would you like, and you say white.
Yeah.
And then they're looking at you, but there's so many different shades of
different
white. So you've got warmer tones, and you've got colder tones, and you've got some which have more.
That happened to me in Sweden because we made holes for the pictures.
I know.
And the walls are not wood; it's something
It's
else.
plaster. I think.
Plaster is very strange, and we made holes in the wall, but then the pictures were a little bit off, and we had to move them again. There's a new hole, and on those walls you can see it so clear.
Yeah.
It's not like on the wooden walls that we have. And then we had to buy something to put in there, like what's that called? The thing you squeeze out. and
Yeah,
put
you
in.
squeeze it out and you put it in the holes,
Yeah, and we bought
then you paint on top of
we
that.
bought the bucket of white because when we saw the walls in the apartment, I saw very white.
But they're
It was-
not.
And then we bought the basic white, and that
And
was
it's
even
not.
whiter. So
Yeah.
there is another color in that white.
Yeah.
I think they have to talk to the people who own the building,
Yeah.
which color they use.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of these holes to fix.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, you know,
Arne
art
and
gallery.
me, yeah, Arne and
we
me
were
putting-
like putting pictures in groups and stuff. It's so fun.
Yeah, well, my
They
dad
have a lot
wanted.
of
That's what my
open-
dad wanted. He wanted the paintings in group. But Arne and me collaborating on hanging paintings is yeah, it's actually pretty entertaining. I think if you were a fly in the wall, because Arne is hammering and I'm directing,
And like a little
and
bit
then
up, a little bit down.
and then, yeah, a little bit down, a little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit to the left, and then I say there, and then he puts the nail in and hangs the painting, and then I say, oops,
Oops.
it wasn't quite that where we
No,
wanted it to
so-
be, and then we have to redo it. So yeah, so to put up one painting, we needed to put in quite a few.
Yeah, but we have to find the right color.
Yeah.
So talking about color.
But my dad was very pleased.
He was
so,
happy. It looks so good.
It does, yeah, it does.
And you can't see the two different colors if you don't look for it. But I know where they are because I put them on the wall.
Yeah. Also, you already started covering all the holes that we did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
A few of them. Didn't
Good.
you see?
I didn't notice it, so it
Didn't
must be
know?
good.
So
Yeah.
you were busy somewhere else.
And now they're waiting. They bought a sofa in Ikea, and of course they had to have a fabric that wasn't available, so they have to custom make the fabric for their sofa. And my dad actually sent me an email this morning telling me that it's arriving on Monday.
That's good because that's the last thing now.
Yeah,
When that is
when the
finished,
sofa is
it's-
covered with the right fabric and the cushions and everything, it's the icing on the
Yeah.
cake.
And then in the spring we can find some furniture for the
Yeah,
veranda.
for the terrace.
The
We'll need to
terrace.
find a table and a few chairs and maybe a grill so that we can do barbecues.
Then we can go to the second-hand shops. there's a lot of nice things in the second-hand shops or antique shops. I don't want to go to Ikea.
No, I know you don't want to go.
I
to
had it
Ikea.
with all those.
But they need outdoor
Instructions.
furniture that can stay out in the winter because they don't have any
there are
space
old
to store
stuff
it.
that can stay out in the winter.
No.
Well, there are, Carlos.
Well, okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm sure we're going to be going to Ikea again, or Jysk, or
somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we've been doing, and then we've come here and we're doing a little bit of the finishing touches to our fireplace as well. We have a candle holder, or actually it's a light fixture that needs to go up.
Now, something happened when they fixed the floor. I think they have hit the switch because it's in there. Like it's inside the box. I don't know if we're there to put the candle on. If we do,
the candle or the light. Yeah, but we could hang it up to start with.
We have to call the electrician, or maybe we could turn off the electricity and
try it ourselves.
To do it.
Yeah,
that can be dangerous.
We can try.
We can try.
Yeah, but we should hang it up anyway because it looks incomplete. So
it's very empty. And you know what? I was very sad. I was thinking about that candle holder we saw. That was not a couple. It was only one of them.
Yeah, but I wanted a pair. I wanted a pair.
But there's not place for a pair on the chimney. There's only place for one. We should have bought it.
For the chimney?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Replace with the electric one.
I don't know. I want the electric one to just hang there anyway because it's pretty.
I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
So it's on my to-do list. Hang the light on the chimney.
Yeah.
And then we're doing a little bit of a skirt, I think it's called, the skirting on the floor, the boards that go on the wall, like a very small one that goes along the fireplace to cover the place where the floor and the fireplace meet.
Because there's a gap, because the wood is expanding, so there has to be gaps between the wood and the walls, and then you can actually glue this skirt thing, this wood thing, on the chimney and the fireplace, which we have done on one side, so we have to do it on the other side as well. And there was a crack. You remember that we heard this crack, or like something was falling down, and I figured out what it was.
It's the floor.
It was the floor, because the floor is actually an old floor, and it was lying in the garage drying for a long time this summer. Actually, we took it out in May, and it came in August. And what happened is that they were glued together, but one of them just moved, and there was this bang. It opened, and then I talked to some carpenters, and they said you have to wait 1 or 2 years. Don't do anything with it. Just wait for a couple of years and see what happens, because sometimes the wood can actually go together again.
Okay.
And then after 2 years, if it doesn't have gone together, you can cut a piece of wood, like a long piece of wood, and you can glue that in the opening, and then it will be nice again.
Oh, that sounds like a good plan.
We have to wait 2 years.
Yeah.
We have to have that gap in the floor. It's not big.
It's not a big gap, no. So, but all in all, it's better now than it was when the fireplace was falling down.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, we've got some crochet things as well, by the way.
Yeah, but that's something we also forgot about. I don't have it brought that out.
No,
before.
This is going to be like a premiere. It's a new blanket. It's a work in progress, and it's all in felted tweed.
Yeah, we started. Is it just 1 year ago?
Yeah. And it's these very cute little flowers.
It's a new crochet flower that we made, and
this is not this. This is not.
That's another yarn. You see, this is the same yarn.
Yeah.
So there are like different color combinations of this. So we have to finish it and make something.
Do you want? I have Freya on my lap, but do you want to go and show closer?
I can do that.
Yeah, these are really, really cute. So I hope that it will be a blanket at some point. But it's going very slow now because of all the things that we've been doing lately.
This is the flower. And different color combinations. Actually, I try to keep like order on how many you can get from a ball. I had it written down somewhere, but you know, it's so messy around, so
the notes have disappeared.
Or it's in the notebook, and we have so many notebooks, so I have to go through the notebooks. Or we just make a new flower and see how many.
Some
But
people
that
wanted
wasn't organized.
some people wanted us to do like a tour of our stash room, but we have to find the stash room first. It's gone. It's disappeared in all this, because of the chaos and the mess.
It's hard. It's really hard to do a tour in the stash room because you can't move. You can hardly move.
Exactly. That's what I mean. The stash room is lost because it's been lost under all the stash pretty much.
I don't think I will do that because remember once I took a picture of the stash and there was a coffee mug that wasn't clean, and then we got some comments that we should clean our coffee mugs.
Oh.
And I deleted the picture.
Really?
Because I don't want to have people telling me I have to clean my coffee mug. When I was up in the mountains when I was younger, working as a milkmaid, I was not the best dishwasher in the world.
No.
And I could use the same coffee mug 2-3 days without washing it because it was my cup and it wasn't coffee. I didn't care.
Okay, I do care.
But this is outdoor living almost.
I know.
Indoor, but outdoor.
You mean our stash room?
No, in the mountains.
Okay. No, our stash room is definitely indoors, and it's
But I think we
definitely.
will have so many good tips about how we should clean the room that I don't have time for that.
No.
Because
no.
if we start moving things around, I won't find anything.
But I do agree, that we should clean it up. But I say that, and you don't listen. So
I have cleaned actually a table because one table because I took out the knitting machine.
Yeah. And how many tables do you have?
In that room?
That.
I just have to figure out what's under all the stuff. I think there's only 2 tables now. Or is there 3?
There's 4, maybe.
No.
3?
Not at the moment.
3?
That's in the atelier.
Oh, okay. The other stash room.
I think we have 4 tables in that room.
Okay.
But it's not organized. And then we have the dollhouse, and we have the bunk bed, and we have a fireplace. No, not the fireplace, a stove. And we have some bookshelves, a lot of bookshelves.
Yeah.
And what more? 2 chairs, 3 chairs.
So if everything goes at the speed it's going now, we will be able to organize our stash room and move into the studio more or less at the same time as we are so old that we have to retire because we can't work anymore.
A bigger stash room.
Yeah. So yeah.
But now everything is okay with the building. But we just have to find the money because it's expensive right now because of the COVID thing.
Yeah, and the costs of wood and materials.
So we have to wait a little bit, but now it's cleared. We can actually build 2 houses together.
Yeah.
And then the big space, the studio, will be your office, and we can do YouTube there.
Yeah.
Because it will be a very clean area, maybe, if I keep myself out of that room.
We need to keep you out of the room so that it
And then the other
clean.
house which we are building together is a smaller house, and that will be my stash place.
Yeah. Your new stash place.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people will have been inspired if they saw the stash place. I think there will be like 50-50.
Yeah.
Some people will go nuts because it's too much, and some people will be inspired.
You know what? Maybe we should
do it.
Maybe we should clean a little bit, because I mean, I want to clean a little bit before we do that, and then we can do we can do a tour of our stash room, which is actually the room Anna has to sleep in when she's here.
Yeah, we have to clean, so she had this small pad between boxes with yarn and books and stuff, and then she can go into her bed. And she brought her kids. I didn't tell you, but I was hiding the dollhouse. Because our dollhouse is not for kids.
No, I know that. How did you hide the dollhouse?
Behind a lot of chairs with books.
Oh, you did that on purpose. But she didn't sleep there. She slept down in the...
I know. But the door
because
was
we put
open.
Eric
but
there.
People are walking by the room.
Yeah, and so... And did you kind of tell her not to tell the kids about the dollhouse?
I didn't say anything. I didn't mention the dollhouse.
You
But
were...
now they know. Next time they come, they will see.
Oh, they know?
If they watch this.
Oh, Anna watches this. Sorry, Anna.
No, but Anna, I'm so sorry, but we have had kids in the house who have actually took stuff out of the dollhouse, and some of those things are antiques.
And very valuable.
And they've been broken.
Yeah.
And that is not...
However, I have
allowed.
to say, Anna has two fabulously
She has actually the nicest kids
well-educated kids.
It was so fun talking to them because they had actually something to say.
They did,
They were
yeah.
so nice.
They did. They had very many clever things to say.
Maybe I
and
should. No, next time I will show them the dollhouse.
Yeah. No, I think they would have been quite careful.
But I didn't know that at the time.
That's true, yeah.
But now I know.
But they're 6 and 10 years old or something like that. So they're in a good age when they are a little bit more.
They were really nice.
Very nice kids, Anna.
It was so fun to talk to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to talk to old kids instead of talking to grown-ups.
Yeah.
Because sometimes grown-ups are boring.
Yeah.
They want to talk about things that doesn't interest me.
Yeah. But kids always have great questions. I love kids when they ask you all those questions, especially in that age when they're like 4 or 5.
Yeah, they're kind of exploring the world.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to explore the world.
It's really fun, isn't it?
And it also makes you think about things because
Yeah.
they had some tricky questions sometimes.
Sometimes
I like
they do,
that.
yeah.
So that's good.
So, but sometimes you don't really have an answer. I mean, when they ask
No,
you.
it's like what can we say? It's like,
Yeah.
but then they also accept strange answers. So it's cool.
It is, yeah.
And I also brought this out, Carlos, because when we had Kim,
Yeah.
the folk singer, he came to our garden, which you have probably seen. We gave him a Dolly Parton gift, and but I think we forgot to show all of
Yeah.
you what we have.
So this was a gift from our friend Marilyn, and she works as a costume designer for movies in Los Angeles, and she did a costume for Dolly Parton, or two dresses for Dolly Parton in the 80s for some sort of a TV performance in Vegas that was in the channel she was working at the time. And these are just leftovers from her dresses that she sent us as a gift, and because she had sent us 3 and 2 of them, or not me, send you, and 2 of them were the same.
Yeah.
You gave away 1 to Kim.
Yeah.
And he was shocked.
I think he was so happy.
See, he was really happy, but he was shocked.
But we forgot to show you how they look. So this is how they look. So this is the one that Kim got the other one of, and this is the one that I would never give away. But now we have to look for a frame for them.
Yeah.
Frame them and put them on the wall. So this is how
Put them
they
on the
look.
wall near all the records that you
Yeah.
have.
And if you haven't seen the video with Kim, you should actually take a look at him because he was very nice and he's a good singer. So
Yes,
it was
the
really
world
fun.
loves Kim. We've been getting wonderful feedback on the video, and it was cool to invite him and ask him to bring all his knitting as well. So
Yeah.
not only did he sing for us, but he was also, we were talking about projects and on the needles, and yeah, he had that whole thing with he has a house in Sweden, and then he forgets projects in Sweden, and he's got projects everywhere. I mean, we can relate, can't we?
We can.
We can definitely relate to everything that
So-
he was talking about.
I'm glad we don't have a lot of houses.
Yeah, me too. Well, we have 4 here though. So.
Yeah, that's enough. So, but if you haven't seen the video, take a look at.
Yeah, do
Kim's
take a
video.
look.
Can we put a link to that video?
Yeah, we can put the link down below. So there's links down below for Knit Stars as the video that we did with Kim. So it's been great days, but I am glad that Sätesdal is over. I'm glad that we're now going back into our
Back
old
to
schedule,
normal,
back to normal. We've got lots of projects that we're going to be doing this fall. So we're looking forward to that. And then December will be a new countdown for Christmas. So.
I'm really hoping that this winter we can finish some of the UFOs and just get them organized.
And
That
we're
would be
gonna get into folk costume mode again in November, because
Yeah.
November is gonna be the time when we will have more
finish them
time.
for
We have to
Christmas.
finish our jackets for Christmas. It's very important. And Arne, as you know, yeah,
I know.
I have a lot of issues with my folk costume
Ooh.
because when I had COVID, I lost a lot of weight, and then afterwards I had post-viral syndrome,
And we
and
took
I
the
gained a
measurements.
lot of weight. And then now that I'm healthy again, I've lost all the weight that I gained. So
and we took the measurements.
Yeah.
When you were, when you had the weight.
Yeah.
So
I tried my vest on the other day, and it literally looks like I'm a paper doll, and I've got this flat thing over on me because there's so much room on both sides.
I can put elastics, or some ribbons in the side, and we can tie it on the back. No, I have to take it out.
And I can't wear the pants. The pants, they just fall off.
I know.
So, and I was like looking at the mirror, and I was like, I can't believe, did I lose that much weight?
I hope we have time for all this, including the jackets.
Yeah.
You think so?
I'm sorry though, but so for me it's gonna be like making the folk costume again, because the vest.
And the vest is so hard because there's like a split, or what you call that in English?
Yeah, there's an opening.
An opening in the side, and you have to remove fabric from the back. When you take it in, you take it from the back, not from the front. You shouldn't touch the front.
No.
And then to get all that fabric inside and keep the opening, that is difficult.
It's a lot of work, and then there's a lot of ironing as well to do afterwards.
Yes.
The trousers is easier though. You just go in.
Yeah, there's
you
a lot
can
of
go in,
fabric,
and you can actually go in both on the sides and on the on the back.
I think actually, when we do that, I think I will do it in the back, because there's a lot of fabric. There's actually too much fabric there already. I had to do that on mine as well, and I will cut off some fabric.
Yeah.
Because there's so much fabric there.
And a lot of people actually were asking, I just remembered this one, there was a lot of people asking about the fall costumes in the sense that they're so expensive. So when you have a fall costume, you have it for life, right? So people are wondering, is there excess fabric in the costume kind of built in, just to make it bigger if... And the answer is yes. And that's one of the things that we're struggling with my fall costume now, that I was a bit heavier when we made it, and now that I'm back to my old weight, which I have been for the last 30 years, it's been difficult to, because there's already so much excess fabric in there. So now we have to kind of calculate how much fabric to actually cut as well, because you can't have that much fabric in there. But there should always be some in the trouser.
I think there's already a lot, because I think there's like about this much fabric on both sides.
Yeah,
if
of
you
the
think
trouser.
there's a seam in the back and you fold the fabric, you have like this on both sides.
Yeah.
And that is a lot.
Yeah, and it's on purpose.
So, it's because people go up and down.
Yeah.
Like yo-yo.
Well, most of the time, the older you get, the more weight you gain, because, well, not necessarily, but you gain weight because the metabolism changes.
Although my sister says it's the wool.
Yeah, she blamed the wool, but a lot of people blame metabolism and the fact that it slows down as you get older.
I think it's the wool that shrinks in the closet.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't believe me?
Yeah.
No.
But I have to do a lot of tweaking on my costume. That is for sure.
I think we should take them out next week. See if we can do something. And the good thing with your jacket, you don't have to iron your jacket. The white jacket shouldn't be, or steam it. The white fabric shouldn't be steamed before you sew it.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know why, but it said in the instructions.
Instructions, yeah.
But the black one has to be steamed also.
So we'll be doing a little bit of a recap on the fall costumes and start up the process again, and keep you updated as the weeks progress here in sit in it for a bit in November, and well, actually pretty much November, because December will be you know what.
You know what.
So anyway, 15 minutes have passed, and it's been a lot of fun.
Already?
But but we're up. Our time is up.
But now the sun is...
And the sun is coming up, and it's actually been lovely sitting here having this chat in the open air. A little bit of a hectic day. There's a lot of activity around us, but that's the way it is.
People are used to cars. Most people are used to having cars passing by their houses. We are very...
Yeah, because this is not usual. This is very unnormal. But when the place fills up at this time of the year, and then all the hunters, they go in and out of the forest, we do get a lot of traffic here. That's for sure.
Actually, we could build a wall against the road.
No, but it's not a traffic road.
No.
Otherwise, so.
Because other roads, if there's a lot of traffic, they actually get that wall.
Yeah.
To protect for sound or noise.
But this is
But
just
this area doesn't have that much traffic.
no, not at
unless-
all. So this is just right now because of
In
the
weekends
because
or-
of the hunters. So anyway, our time is up for now, but it's been lovely enjoying the sun. The fog is going to lift. I think that we're going to get some sun for the rest of the afternoon, and that's going to be lovely.
It'll be nice.
And we've got to cook dinner. We've got a friend coming over.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lovely treat
And I'm
for
gonna
us.
light the candle tonight.
We're going to be lighting some candles
Gonna
and
light
enjoying
this one.
a cozy fall day. We've got our birchwood, by the way. We're being delivered in a few days, but we did buy a little sack of birchwood just to have for today because our guest is coming.
Yeah, because we have that net in front of the fireplace. Someone
Yeah.
said we should have that, and
We have
it.
it.
We have actually a big one, but
It's not to be trusted.
No, because when the wood pops, it pops over.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
it jumps. Sometimes it can jump over. So yeah.
But now, last night we had the birch wood on the fireplace, and we were sitting there drinking tea and listening to music, and it was so cozy.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
So that's one of our favorite things to do this time of the year. Sit and knit together with you guys, of course. Doing our podcast is great, and we also love enjoying some time in front of the fireplace, reading and knitting and listening to beautiful music.
Just to realize that sometimes, some weeks, this is the only time we actually talk to other people.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's not much people around.
I know.
We talk to a machine.
Yeah. So a lot of people.
But we know you're behind there. We
Yeah.
know that you're out there.
A lot of people love the sit and knit for a bit concept, and they love it that we pop into their screen every week. But you know, please know that you are as important to us and to keep our sanity in times like this where we have been isolated. Hunting dogs are coming,
I think
Arne.
you have to stop now.
Yeah.
I heard people.
I'm hearing people, but I'm also hearing some dogs, and these two
Okay.
get so feisty.
I think we better get in.
So some formalities before
If you
Freya
like
goes
our
cray cray.
videos, put your video, no, your thumbs up, and remember to subscribe and put on your notifications, because then you won't miss the episode. This is very confusing.
Yeah. Moose, moose, run away, run away. Moose, moose, run away. We don't want them to be killed.
No. Okay, see you on Sunday.
Yes, see you on Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. And there's links down below for Knit Stars and all the stuff that we've been talking about today. Bye.
Bye, see you.